Hey, welcome back to another Two Bear Arms broadcast. Today we're bringing you one of our episodes on trigger time. As we mentioned before, we rotate through several different segments every week, and this week is trigger time where we're going to talk industry news. I'm CC, also known as Kurt.
And I'm Deuce Stevens.
Yep. And we're going to start off talking a little bit about Ruger firearms today. There's a lot of big news with that. And Deuce, share some of that information with us.
Well, probably the biggest news in the Ruger world is the acquisition of the Marlin Firearm Company, which they made last year. They moved production of Marlin to North Carolina. And last week, or October 21st, they released a photo of the very first Ruger-produced Marlin rifle. It was a stainless 1895 in 4570 laminate stock. It wasn't really any detailed photos, but it was pretty much a photo of the production staff holding the rifle in front of them, which is encouraging. That's great. Those of us who are Marlin fans, which you and I both like our Marlin rifles. You've hunted, quite a bit with Marlin rifle, and I've shot a lot of competition with the Marlin rifle. The 1895 is going to be the first model to kind of hit production, I guess. Then the 336. Good old 30-30 will follow.
That's awesome.
And then followed by the 1894 in both 357 and 44 Magnum.
Nice.
So, and then after that, they apparently are going to re-release the 1895 and a 444 Marlin.
I heard about that, and our shop manager and I were discussing that the other day, and that 444, very interesting round. We've had a few of them come through here, very nostalgic round, and apparently it's still big deal on the West Coast and out in the Plain States and that type of thing.
Definitely a niche caliber.
Yep.
I mean, I know that whenever we've gotten them in, they don't hang around very long.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I don't personally know anyone that has one or shoots one, but obviously the 1895 is the most popular in the 4570.
Sure.
Which is kind of a heavy hitter in its own right. And I was just reading some more details. Ruger acquired Marlin for $30 million in a federal bankruptcy sale.
Okay.
And which sounds low to me,
right?
I guess.
Right.
They acquired the company and all its assets for that, and so I guess that sounds low. And I'm really excited from a production capability standpoint. Ruger has weathered the storm so well over the years. And if you watch their stock,
mid-70s again.
If you watch their stock, it holds strong while others tend to kind of waver a little bit at times. And I think it really comes down to their production capability, what they do in-house. And they've always been about, obviously as everything, prices have gone up on everything, but they've always been about economics and getting, the highest quality firearms they can get out for the lowest cost. And I think they've done a good job. So I'm excited to see what they do with that line.
Yeah, I'm super excited to see how they're going to stamp these. This is a big issue of debate, too. I'm hoping somebody comes up with a sneak photo or something of how they're stamping them, and I hope somewhere or another they've got Ruger incorporated in that. I think that'll fire up a lot of collectors and things that have liked the Marlin line for a long time.
It also will hopefully not create any more hysteria or confusion on the vintages of Marlin if they just would go ahead and stamp something involving Ruger so we all know. Is this a Remlin? Is it a right. What's the serial number code?
Sure. Where's the JM?
Where's the JM? Where's the So and for those that are Marlin fans or those that buy, sell, and trade and do a lot of kind of stuff, they'll know what we're talking about. But that's always the first thing you look at.
Sure.
Of course, I can now at this point in time I can spot a Remington made Marlin from across the room now, so I don't even have to look now. I know what they're looking for. But no, and in other news, they're not the only company moving.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Smith & Wesson announced that they'll be moving to Tennessee. That's not going to, from what I understand, the research that I've done, that's not going to happen until 2023.
Okay,
till we're going to start seeing Tennessee stamps on guns. But they'll be moving roughly 750 jobs with them along for that facility. And then also Beretta USA is also moving to Tennessee as well.
Nice. Tennessee's done a nice job courting these companies to try to get them to come their direction. And there again, I wish Indiana, for any of the any of the state reps or any of that may be listening. A couple of them are friends of ours, so we'll see if they're listening. That's something that I wish Indiana would have done and maybe start doing is start soliciting some of these firearms manufacturers to come to Indiana and set up. Obviously, Tennessee is. So let's get them into the red states. Let's get them here. Let's make that something that's creating jobs locally. And congratulations to Tennessee. That's a nice boost for their economy. And then some bragging rights. I mean, come on. In the hunting world, that's bragging rights.
Yeah.
So,
and, Smith & Wesson made no bones about it that it was political.
Yep.
It's they're going to a place that's easier for them to do business.
Sure.
Legally.
Yep.
So it's, they were pretty forthright with that.
Right.
And they're basically, you've got these gun companies that are kind of calling the bluff.
Yep.
And saying, okay, you don't want us here? No problem.
Yep. And right after Smith & Wesson announced that, their stock made a nice little spike.
Yep.
So, it regained some confidence with the investors. And Smith's done a really good job with their lineup, ever since they've come out with the EZ especially. They had a dry spell there for a while where they were just kind of repeating some of the same things in the Shield line. But then, of course, it was a huge splash when they brought out the EZs and the 9 and the 380 and then did some of the Performance Center variations of that. And that really, really boosted them going into the pandemic. Then, of course, the pandemic, there wasn't a gun company out there that didn't do well as long as they could produce the guns. Right. So, I'm kind of excited for Smith & Wesson.
Yeah, no, their EZ line was huge. I know it was a big one for us.
Yeah, and we're still selling quite a few of them. Yep. So we keep them, as many of them in stock as possible and in the different configurations. I think I looked the other day and there was like 14 different configurations now, including color combinations.
Right.
So between the 9mm and the 380. So, and then Performance Center and the different features of the Performance Centers and that type of thing. So It was pretty extensive line, which is pretty neat.
And at this point in time, for me, it's actually a little surprising that somebody else hasn't jumped on that bandwagon and done, that Springfield or SIG hasn't done a gun that's designed for the newbie, the first timer and built a gun, because the EZ is absolutely a purpose-built firearm.
Sure. I'm not so sure that Smith & Wesson didn't patent their spring system that they've set up on that gun to make that easy. So it may be a little bit of reverse engineering that's going to have to take place before somebody can bring that out. But, it would be neat to see more guns along that lines for new shooters because, as we know, in 2020 we gained, numbers vary, but 9 million, to 11 million new shooters. So, or new gun owners, I guess. I don't know if they're all shooters or just gun owners, but either way, let's put some stuff in their hands and see if they like some of the new stuff. So, very good. Very good. Hey, a quick little punch for our sponsors. And today, Deuce reminded me to wear my W.R. Hall hat because I never look up and see which hat I'm wearing. And so, Mike, there you go. You got us both in your hats, and we appreciate it. And for your insurance needs, Mike at W.R. Hall is fantastic. He's one of our good friends. He comes in here quite a bit. He's also has me write him checks several times a year for all the different insurance needs that we have around here and, for business and personal. It's fantastic. If you need anything, you get a hold of him. What's the tagline on that?
W.R. Hall, they've got you covered.
They've got you covered. I like that. And we also want to thank WTP for their continued sponsorship of the podcast. It's a great partnership between WTP and Two Bear Arms, as many people know, and then also Paradise Pass. And it's a great relationship, and we appreciate their sponsorship for the podcast. So, all right, you want to lead into a new gun here? You want me to lead into it?
You go ahead and lead into it, and I'll join in.
Perfect. So. Well, we were talking about Ruger earlier and great things that Ruger, Ruger is one of my personal favorite brands. I've got 2 or 3 favorites, I guess, but they always seem to excite me with new offerings. And, just a few months ago, they brought out the Max 9, and now they have the LCP 9. This is an unloaded firearm. And this is the LCP Max, and it is in 380. The neat thing that they've done with this, and if you'll notice if you're watching on the YouTube channel, You can see that it just varies a little bit in width and more so in the handle than what the original LCP did. But what they've done is they've created a staggered magazine that works itself into the single stack. We've seen this on some German engineering. I know HK's P7s in the M13s. This is exactly the way their mags look, so that become kind of fond to my heart because you know how I feel about the P7s. Yes. So 10-round magazine. It's I don't know if they're offering an extended magazine yet, but I'm sure they probably will at some point. But it's a great system to have it narrow down into that configuration for the magazine. It helps it feed much better than a standard, just a standard floating double stack. So very, very lightweight piece, a little smaller than a 9mm, obviously. But they have put the night sight on it with the glow ring, the day glow ring on it. It has your loaded indicator on it. And then the rear sight, they've done a U design on the rear sight, and they've also make it pronounced enough there again for body racking. I body racked it out there earlier, combat racked it, some people call it, and got the slide to go to lockback. So that was a pretty neat feature for the firearm also. And it's one of the newer firearms. I think we've had them now for about 2.5 weeks. We've been bringing them in, and this is my third batch that just came in. So pretty neat little piece. Front serrations on it. It's got 45-degree cut angles up here on the muzzle end there for holstering purposes, and then just a slight recessed slide face on this so they could raise the sight up just a little bit for a little quicker sight acquisition, and then also for barrel angle. They put that in there. So great little piece. What'd you say it comes with? It comes with what, one magazine?
One magazine and one pocket holster.
And a pocket holster.
In the current packages that we have. Yeah, just as somebody who has owned one of the original LCPs, right away I notice it's you do get a little bit more width out of your grip frame here. Obviously, you get more capacity, 10 plus 1 versus 7 plus 1.
Sure.
But what I really like is that you get real sights on this gun. So if you fired the original LCP, I think that this would be a game changer in comparison.
Sure.
And with today's ballistics on modern produced 380, it's a formidable defensive round. And again, guys, you've got a 10 plus 1 capacity in a hand palm sized package. Mm-hmm. So, safe action trigger, definitely intended to be a deep carry gun, and maybe not even your primary gun. But,
sure.
For summertime carry, throw it in the pocket, throw it in the purse type of operation. I think they've got a winner here, and it's with the advent of all the micro 9s, 380 has kind of lost some ground, I think.
Yeah.
So it's been quite some time since I've even been interested in a 380 firearm.
Right.
But that's one that I would definitely own.
Right. And I think, 380 slowed down quite a bit during 2020, basically because of ammo availability. And there again, the ammo producers were so backlogged on 9mm ammo, they really couldn't afford to switch over and take the time to run 380 ammo. Plus, it was utilizing primers for every round made. Right. So they wanted to try to catch back orders for the 9mm side of things. So 380 became very, very scarce. We were actually, in Two Bear Arms, we were out of 380 for probably 30, 45 days. Then we started getting it back in, but I know some shops went 4 or 5 months without 380 ammo, and that was pretty tragic for the 380 industry. But now it's starting to come back into stock pretty regularly, and the price is comparable to 9mm right now because 9 hasn't come back down very much. It's come down, but it hasn't come down a tremendous amount as of yet. So, I'm actually considering one of these for just a little, around town type carry gun. And I picked it up a dozen times. I like the grip of it. I like the feel of it. Fills the hand much better than the original LCP. So,
and you and I are both kind of situational carriers.
Yes.
We change our carry guns depending on what situation we're in, where we're at, what we're doing.
Absolutely.
So we vary our carry sometimes daily.
Yep.
I know myself personally, and there's a lot of people that will disagree with this, but I may carry 1 to 3 different types of firearms over the course of a 12 or 15-hour day.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Just depending on where I'm going and what I'm doing, what I'm wearing.
Sure.
Sure. So, and no matter how you slice it, as small as we've got in the 9s, they're still not as small as this.
Right.
So,
exactly.
Exactly. And like I said, I like the improved beefiness of this gun from a shootability standpoint. I think this is a gun that, personally, my original LCP, the single stack, it's my least favorite gun to shoot. I mean, it's just not enjoyable whatsoever.
Sure. It was an emergency response gun.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't have hardly any sights on it. It's difficult to shoot well. I think that's a gun you could actually learn to shoot well. Yep.
Yeah, I think maybe this week we'll have to turn one of them into a used gun, see how we like it.
Sure.
Use it as a rental gun in here, and then
I love that.
If I like it, I'm going to get one and carry it. So that'll be great, especially for summertime or places that you can't wear a nice, I love this time of year when you can start wearing hoodies and light vests and things.
I can start carrying my 8-inch 629 again every day. I love that.
In your thigh holster, wear your duster.
Yeah, just wear my oilskin duster and break out the big guns again.
There you go. There you go.
Put away the North American Arms mini revolver and get out the real gun.
There you go. You'll look good.
For the record, I don't carry an 8-inch 629.
Yeah. Let's clarify that before you start getting mail again.
That was a joke.
Yeah.
I don't need.
But he does wear the duster a lot.
I don't need any more hate mail.
Yeah, he does wear the duster with that wonderful haircut.
I do.
So
Yeah.
Look like
it's a social experiment.
Yeah. They had a movie about that once. Sylvester Stallone was in with a haircut like that and traveling through a town.
First Blood?
Yeah.
Is that what that was?
Yeah, that was the one. So
I don't know. I was like 3 when that came out. I don't really remember it that well. You probably saw it in the theaters, like on a first date or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
You're welcome.
So that leads me to my next topic. I'm going to be looking for a new partner for podcasting.
Must have thick skin.
Yes, absolutely. All right, so we're done picking on each other. We're done talking about that. I think let's move into deer season a little bit.
Yeah.
We're getting really close here, guys, and for archery season, it's already begun. I made it out in the field one day last week, and hopefully maybe tomorrow I'll make it back out again. But
you actually saw quite a few deer.
Seen a lot of deer. Seen 17 deer on my first trip out, which was pretty good.
Fun day.
Yeah, it was. It was a lot of fun. So. And I know one of our friends, Doug, he scored a really nice buck last night. Congratulations.
Yeah, Knuckle Buster shot a beautiful 10-point.
Yeah, it was a nice looking deer. I can't wait to hear the story this weekend. And
it means more jerky.
Yeah.
So, Doug always brings jerky.
Oh, Doug, if you're listening, bring us jerky.
Yep.
And Marty, bring pasta salad this weekend.
Yep, pasta salad.
Got to have that. That'll work out good.
No.
So, but yeah, we're getting ready to go into deer season. Caliber wise. And I got asked this the other day, gentleman looking for a gun for his son, and we got talking about different calibers and things, for Indiana. I know there's, this is opinion based, I guess. It's difference between black coffee and coffee with cream, I guess.
Sure.
But, the calibers that I can tell you from the selling standpoint, and basically the top 5 being 6.5 Creedmoor, the new 350 Legend. I know that's what you hunt with. Yep. And I'll be taking the 350 Legend with me to Wyoming in a couple of weeks for mountain lion. And so we really like that round. The 308, 243, and then the 300 Blackout kind of round out what you see as the favorites for Indiana. And, you want to talk a little bit about the 350 Legend?
Yeah, I've only shot two Indiana deer so far, but one was with the 44 Magnum rifle, and then the other last year was my first time out with the 350 Legend. And I bought a 350 from a friend of mine who I watched kill a doe with it the season before, so I knew it was a proven shooter, right. And I kind of knew I'd have helped him field dress that deer actually, and I got to witness some of the ballistic,
the carnage,
the carnage, the effectiveness of the 350. It's a cool. I'm a straight wall cartridge guy. I just like them. I always have. They look right to me, and it's just I guess that's the cowboy side of things for me. But and the 350 is cool because it was intended to be kind of the new 30-30 from availability. standpoint. And that's, while that may not be entirely true in 2021,
Sure.
I think it will be in the future as things calm down a little bit.
Sure.
But no, I've got myself personally, I've got a Ruger American that I'm shooting it in with some Vortex optics, and you recently painted the stock for me on that gun. I've got a CC custom stock with some custom stippling and a brand new camo job on it. So I'm excited bound to make it shoot better.
Absolutely. I mean, it looks cooler, that's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh.
So last year, unfortunately, I shot, not unfortunately, but from a performance standpoint, I shot my doe at 12 yards with that gun. So I can't really speak
and I got to witness it.
I can't really speak to the, to the long range effectiveness of that fire.
It was very, very awesome. So
yeah,
should we go into that story?
Sure, why not? That was kind of a fun story.
So Deuce hunts here on the property with me, and we have a box blind, and Deuce was hunting out of the box blind. I was further back in the woods.
I'm in the kids blind, just for the record.
See, I wasn't going there.
That's okay.
Being friendly. I was being friendly.
I'm in the children's blind.
You're in the children's blind. Okay. The comfortable blind, it's 10 foot by 10 foot roughly inside. Yeah. And okay. So meanwhile, I go climb a tree, and I was probably 80 yards, 100 yards.
Yeah, 100 yards from me.
100 yards from Deuce. And there's a buck that I've been wanting to settle a score with for a couple of years, and here he come right along the creek line there, and followed the trail that I was hoping he would follow. So I shot him with a 6.5 Creedmoor, and he didn't go too far. I seen him go across and fall, and I looked back over towards Deuce, and there's two does right outside the box blind. So I texted him real quick. I said, hey, shoot those does, because I had a suppressor on my gun, so they really didn't know where the shot come from. They were just kind of looking around alert, but they didn't know which way to run, so they just were standing there. And I texted him, and then he texted back and said, what deer? And I said, look out front. And he leaned forward, and then I seen his gun go out the window.
Yeah, they were so close that I actually had to sit up of my stool and see over the window. I'm like, oh, yeah, there they are. Okay.
His recliner.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I like to be comfortable.
There you go. But, yeah, it was kind of neat, because once I knew that he seen him, I could see his muzzle of his gun coming out the window, and it was like, whoop, pow. And his doe didn't go. I mean, she went, 25 yards?
Maybe.
Yeah. And down she went. Well, the other doe took off, and I decided, well, that doe knew way too much. And she was a witness.
She was a witness at that point.
And she was going to go report. So I put the crack on her, and she went about 10 or 15 yards, and down she went.
And I was, she was broadside to me, beautiful, about 80 yards. And I was hemming and hawing and contemplating whether or not I should shoot her as well, but then you went ahead and made the decision for me.
Got to be quicker than that.
Yeah, you got to be quicker than that when you're hunting with Kurt.
You may be able to be a cowboy shooting, but hunting, we're going to do a little different. But no, that was a lot of fun. We shot 3 deer in about 45, 50 seconds.
There was a lot of action. Yeah,
there was a lot of action.
Fast,
it was pretty awesome. So pretty awesome.
And we are enjoying the fruits of that hunt. Still.
Yeah, I absolutely. And I just ran out of steaks the other day. So I'm
almost out of burger.
Yep. I've still got a little burger left. I'm out of steaks. I'm out of, the sausage from them. So it's time. It's definitely time. So
no, guys, and again, we we're big venison eaters.
Yep.
So I mean, that's me, personally, all my kids love it. My wife loves it. So I mean, that's why I hunt.
Yep.
And obviously, I want a nice buck to cross my path, and as well as anybody. But, I really enjoy venison, and I enjoy the health benefits of eating venison. And because believe it or not, we both try to eat healthy.
Absolutely.
I mean, especially the last couple of years. And that's a big part of why we hunt.
I have to eat healthy because you keep reminding me how old I am, and I appreciate that. So,
well, I mean, I don't. There's just not many excuses to pick on you about.
Well, okay.
So I need something.
Okay. Yeah. But I posted a meme the other day on the Two Bear Arms Facebook page, which if you're not following that, get on there and like and follow that, please. But I posted a cute meme on there. It had the guy sitting in front of the table that has the white sign that everybody changes the meme to on there. And it says something about I can't see the size of the buck's rack when it's in chili.
Right.
So
exactly.
Changed my mind at the bottom down there. So, that's a true story. If if you're a venison eater, a few does in the freezer plus a buck is a great way to go. Or, opportunity knocks, you take the does, and, we want to be conservation minded on it. I know,
and we are here.
Absolutely.
On the places that we can control it. We have our own code for what, for bucks here, that what we'll shoot and what we won't. So.
And we're trying to work with, the neighbor here close by. Him and his boys hunt right next door, and they're trying to, be very conscious about, the future of the herd around here. So we're trying to adhere to their rules and work together as a team to produce some nice healthy herd here. Not only big bucks, but also healthy herds of does and managed well. So, and I don't know anybody that goes out and tries to fill all the tags. I think this county, you can still shoot at least 8 deer just in this county, and then you can go to the next county and shoot another 8. I don't know anybody that does that anymore, but, fill your freezers, guys. Make sure you get enough meat to get you through for the next year, but and then call it good and help some other hunters get out there and try it out. So I think I've got a couple of new hunters going to try out this year, or at least they're going to come as spectators and set in a blind for a day and see what they think of it. So, get out there and expose some new people to hunting too. Maybe neighbor kids, maybe people from church, that type of thing.
Ladies,
Yep, ladies, get ladies out there checking it out. Just get them to go with you once or twice.
And make it fun. Don't make it miserable.
Yeah.
I brought my son out. He was he was 10 last year, and I know that's not super young to get him out into the blind, but he wanted to come out with me for the day and for a couple hours at least. And he was out there, and I made sure he was warm and wasn't hard on him at all.
Right.
So there's it's again, just like with shooting and firearms, there's a definite way to and I'm very much a neophyte hunter myself. So I mean, you've taught me a lot the last couple of years. I'm just getting into it. Myself. I mean, I've been going out and sitting in the woods since I was little, but I've never really been a big hunter. So, so I'm learning, and through that too, I'll mention, guys, you've been deer hunting for
a long time.
40 plus years. Can we say that? Yeah. Wow. And that's awesome. Yeah. And one thing you've taught me is also respect for hunting and respect for the game. So
thank you.
It that's made a huge impact on me. Great. And when you shoot a buck, it gets mounted.
Yep.
It's not for bragging rights. That is for your respecting the animal.
Yep.
And that's and I can tell you guys that's an expensive endeavor.
It is. It is.
You're proud of every one that you've got on the wall because you have respect for that animal. So and everyone's got a story.
Yep.
So that's really cool.
Yeah. And my son and I were just talking about it. His first buck, which was taken several years ago, but it's a very small buck, and we had it European mounted, where they just do the skull and turn it white. And we were just talking about that the other night, and he wants to take it home. It's hanging here on the property, and he wants to take it home and put it up in the house. And I thought that was pretty cool because it's a very, very small buck, but he's proud of it. He's killed some other bigger bucks since then, obviously, but, and looking back to those days there again, when you were talking about taking your son or taking new shooters, that was the first time I'd taken him over to the property that, my uncle had. And, that place is known for nice bucks.
Yeah.
And this little buck come walking in very first thing. And, Levi leaned over to me and said, "Dad, can I take him?" And it took me a second to say yes, because I'm like, oh, I know 20 minutes, an hour from now, there's going to be a much nicer, bigger buck. But he was so excited, and he was gripping the gun already. He was, wanting to put it on his shoulder, and he was looking at me, waiting for an answer. And I said, "Go ahead." That was the buck he wanted. So he placed a beautiful shot. Buck went, 15 feet and fell over. So, it's pretty neat, and that to him is a very, very nice trophy. To me, a very nice trophy. Yeah. So it's just kind of a neat thing to get the new hunters out there, get them, acclimated to the woods, get them to enjoy it a little bit, and even if you just, like Deuce said, take them out for a few hours at a time. Don't make a whole day set with new shooters.
Yeah.
Whole day sets are made for guys like me that want to take some naps. and eat some beef jerky in the tree stand.
Right.
So, and read some NRA magazines and that type of thing.
Stretch the limitations of your bladder and whatnot.
Yeah. Well, they make things for that. So, not depends.
Right.
No, not depends. Don't start that rumor, dude. I know where you're going. As soon as I said that, I was like, he's going to start a rumor.
Yeah, it's not a hard transition for you.
Go on Amazon and put in utility urinals or traveling urinals, and it'll show you some neat things there. So,
and that last year was my second year of really kind of hitting it hard, and I enjoyed very much just being out there.
Sure,
I really did. I mean, I shot one doe last year, and that was it. But I sat a lot.
Oh,
I don't know if you remember, and I loved it. I was out there. I was sitting 3 times a day.
Sure,
I'd go out and I'd come in here and work a little bit, and I go sit midday. I know you'd text me and be like, "Where are you?" And I'm like, "I'm in the box blind."
Yep.
So it
taking a nap in a recliner.
Of course, that was also 2020, so I may have been looking for an excuse to just go somewhere else.
Right. Somewhere you didn't have to wear a mask. Yeah. So, that's it. I look forward to the moments to be able to just sit out there. Love seeing stuff. I took some pictures and posted on Facebook the other day of the. Like I say, I seen 17 deer, but I also seen 5 or 6 turkey. I seen a bunch of wood ducks. They came in and landed right next to me. It was fantastic. And of course, always the annoying squirrels and the small game. But seeing the turkeys and everything were really neat. Right.
And the sounds opening morning, before it becomes light. It's just, when you're sitting there, it's awesome.
Yep.
You get ramped up and you get excited. And,
Sure. It's great. So
every squirrel you hear, you're hoping it's the next 12 point.
Yep. Now back to the equipment, because we kind of sidetracked really hard and quick there, but that's okay. That's the great thing about being only semi-scripted for these episodes. So
that's why it's our podcast.
Well, that's true. That's true. Nobody can tell us that we can't do what we want to do in here. So
that's right.
From the equipment standpoint, folks, if you are thinking of any new equipment, we're a couple weeks out. Get it bought now, because the other day we were looking at inventories and stocks available to purchase to bring into the store. Things are very limited. Now right now we have quite a few rifles still in stock. We've got ammo for probably 99% of the calibers that are legal for deer hunting in Indiana.
Plenty of optics.
Yeah. And in fact, today I just unloaded from UPS a huge shipment of new Vortex, which we haven't seen a good size shipment from Vortex, because they're just now starting to come out of the back order situation. But this is a very, very large order of Vortex. So anybody that's been in recently, we've had some Vortex, but now we've got a lot of the others back in stock. I think there's only 2 others that we're missing right now in the normal lineup that we carry in the store here. And of course, we've got Burris and Leopold and all the other big favorites. But get in and get those things bought here soon. Heater bodysuits, we still have some of those left. I noticed some more of them went out over the weekend. If you have not hunted from a heater bodysuit, I will tell you right now from personal experience, and you can go back and look at some of our older videos. I've got a couple videos posted of the heater bodysuit, but game changer. Absolute game changer when the weather turns cold. Year before last, sitting in the tree stand, super cold, windy, horrible day. Little bit of freezing rain. I zipped up inside that thing. I actually fell asleep before the sun come up. Got up in the stand and got zipped up in it and actually fell asleep. And just as it was getting light, I started waking up, had deer all over the place moving around. Seen the buck that I've been waiting on, shot him. I looked down. I have a little thermometer hanging on my safety harness vest on the inside of the heater bodysuit, and I looked down at it. It said 72 degrees.
Wow.
Inside there. It had to have been outside. It had to have been 20 with a wind chill of probably 14. I mean, it was cold, and I was 72 inside there. So it was pretty awesome. And comfortable enough, I fell right asleep when I climbed up in the stand.
Right.
So very, very neat item to have. I'll be breaking mine out probably next week and start using it. It's getting cold and actually maybe tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow if I go tomorrow afternoon. So I'll have to just kind of see how the day treats me.
You're selling me on it. I feel like I need to get one.
I'm telling you, dude, it's a game changer. So you'd really like it.
Might ask for a discount.
Oh God, here we go. So this is how we go broke. Oh God, friends and family discount. Also keep in mind safety harnesses, folks. We've got safety harnesses in, but I don't care where you buy the safety harnesses. I want you to buy all your guns, all your ammo here, but everybody needs a safety harness. If you're off the ground, please put on a safety harness. I know years and years and years ago, we didn't have safety harnesses. And then they came out with just the lap belt, which would basically almost cut you in half if you fell out of the tree, but at least you wouldn't hit the ground. So I guess
slow your velocity,
yeah, and just hang you upside down by your guts. And then they came fold you in half like a taco. But,
wow.
Epic image, man. Sorry about that. But then they came out with the safety harnesses, and that in itself has added a lot of security, even just standing in the stands, being able to lean around in the stands. You just feel a little more secure in there. And then, there's been several people that I know personally that have fallen from stands. Unfortunately, some of them have now paralyzed. Unfortunately, I don't know, or fortunately, I don't know anyone that's passed away from falling out. I'm sure there have been. But me personally, I know of at least 2 gentlemen that have fallen out of stands and are paralyzed because of it. Folks, get safety harnesses. They're cheap investment. I keep safety harnesses in here, and we mark them up, I think, $5 or $8, basically just taking care of the handling of my people touching the product to put it on the shelf, because I want it as cheap as possible so people can always have a safety harness available to them. Also, if you're buying a new tree stand, whether you're ordering it online or one of the box stores or whatever anymore, all the tree stands come with safety harnesses. They're not the greatest safety harnesses. They're just basically nylon webbing versus the vest style that I'm referring to from Hunter Safety System, or I don't know, there's a dozen great companies that make I use Hunter Safety System personally, but there's a lot of great one. Muddy makes a really, really good one. I think we have some of those in here also that are well under $100.
Yeah.
And, that doesn't even cover the price of your deductible if you do fall from the insurance company. So folks, get you a safety harness, get everybody that's going with you a safety harness. They come in, small, medium, large, extra large, that type of sizing. So if you've got youngsters going and stuff, get the smalls, get them fitted up, and then just keep it around and use it for other youngsters later on. And keep everybody safe up in the tree stands this year. So deer calls, deer scents, all that type of thing. I know there's varied opinions on that. I use a call different times of the year. I use Tink's 69 attractant, and then I also use different varieties of scent killer type products. And then, of course, I use an ozonics and such while up in the tree, which are all fantastic. I've had great success with all those products. So anytime you want to talk deer hunting and stuff, come on in. All of us in here, I think, all the full-timers are deer hunters here. And I think probably 70 or 80% of the part-timers are deer hunters. Yeah. So you'll get some good advice in here, and you can hear some great stories. And
some varied experiences, and and you can kind of, and that's what's cool about the staff here is everybody's kind of got their own opinion, their own approach, and you can take, you can take away from it what you'd like, and
Yep, absolutely. So I'm wishing everybody a very safe deer season. Hope it goes well for everybody, and
very exciting.
Maybe we'll cover some more information on it next week, and since we'll be right up there, really close to it. Yeah. So, all right. Anything else you want to cover this evening?
Nope. I think, again, guys, we're a full stocking dealer here, and constantly getting in new stuff and lots of used stuff, and constantly rotating. We'll start to bring back some of this old gun segments as we progress here, and grab some of our used inventory that's kind of interesting, and maybe something you've not seen before.
So. Sure. And keep in mind, like I mentioned at the beginning of the podcast, is we're rotating segments. So next week we'll be on the trail with CC and Deuce, and we'll be talking cowboy action shooting for that segment. And then the week after that, we'll be going back into the unloaded segment, which the unloaded segment's just we kind of talk about anything we want to talk about, from politics to TV shows to firearms to whatever. So, and then we'll go back into the trigger time like we're in today. So we're just rotating through those three. It's pretty fun, pretty fantastic. You can check out our past episodes on Spotify and on YouTube. And like we say each week, folks, keep your powder dry. Have a good week. Thank you.